Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on some exam questions related to atomic structure and the periodic table. Our first question states, this question is about magnesium. The electronic structure of a magnesium atom is shown below. Use the correct answer from the box to complete each sentence. The nucleus contains protons and what? It contains protons and neutrons. Okay, the particles with the smallest relative mass that move around the nucleus are called what? They are called electrons. Okay, atoms of magnesium are neutral because they contain the same number of electrons as what? As protons. So the opposite charges, remember electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, the opposite charges cancel out. And that would get you 3 marks. Next question. A magnesium atom reacts to produce a magnesium ion. Which diagram shows a magnesium ion? So remember, magnesium is in group 2 of the periodic table. That means it's going to have 2 electrons in its outer shell. Okay, and it's a metal, so it's going to form a positive ion, a 2 positive ion, and it's going to lose those 2 electrons. So which one is that? It's going to form a positive ion, so we can cross the one on the right out, and then it's going to form a 2 positive ion, so we know it's going to be this one over here, and that's going to give you 1 mark. Okay, next question. Magnesium and dilute hydrochloric acid react to produce magnesium chloride solution and hydrogen. State 2 observations that could be made during the reaction. So as you can see, a gas is being produced. So what's going to happen? You will see fizzing of hydrogen gas being produced. Okay, and what other thing can you see? Well, magnesium is pairing up with chlorine, so you can see the magnesium getting smaller and smaller because it's reacting and gas is being produced, so magnesium is going to be dissolving and getting smaller and smaller. So magnesium is going to dissolve and get smaller and smaller. Okay, and that would get you 2 marks. In this question, you will be assessed on using good English, organizing information clearly, and using specialist terms where appropriate. You need to describe a method for making pure crystals of magnesium chloride from magnesium and dilute hydrochloric acid. In your method, you should name the apparatus you will use, and you do not need to mention safety. So we're trying to produce pure crystals from magnesium chloride, which is made up of magnesium and dilute hydrochloric acid. So we have Mg and HCl. Okay, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to use a beaker. That's going to be one of our equipment that we're going to use. We're going to use a beaker, and we're going to pour in hydrochloric acid into the beaker. Okay, after we poured it in, we're going to add magnesium strips of the metal, and we're going to stir it so they're properly mixed together. Okay, so that's the first step. So you're going to use a beaker and a stirring rod. Okay, now after you've stirred it, what you're going to do, you're going to filter out the excess magnesium strip. So you're going to filter to remove magnesium. So filter using filter paper and filter funnel. You're going to filter out the magnesium in excess, the excess magnesium. Okay, now after you filtered it out, then you're going to use a evaporating dish. So you're going to use an evaporating dish and a Bunsen burner to heat the remaining solution. So you're going to heat remaining solution, and you're going to leave it to form crystals. So remove when you see some crystals forming. So remove when you see some crystals forming, and then you can evaporate it, so you will be left with crystals, pure crystals. Okay, and that would be worth 6 marks. Okay, next question. It says, this question is about atoms. Atoms contain electrons, neutrons, and protons. Which of these particles have a positive charge? Nice and easy 1 marker. It's proton. Okay, that would get you 1 mark. How are the elements in the periodic table arranged? They are arranged in order of increasing atomic number. Again, easy 1 marker. Okay, next question. How many protons are in an atom of fluorine? Well, if we have a look, we have 2 there. Add the 7 on the outer shell, and that's going to give us 9, worth 1 mark. Okay, next question. The boiling point of fluorine is minus 188 degrees. What state is fluorine in at room temperature? So if its boiling point is at minus 188 degrees, that's the point at which it turns into a gas. Room temperature, it's going to be a gas. Okay, because minus 188 degrees is far too low to be a room temperature. Room temperature is going to be higher than that, but its boiling point is at minus 188 degrees, so it's going to be a gas. Okay, final 2 questions. Fluorine reacts with copper to form an ionic compound. Explain in terms of electrons and electronic structure what happens to fluorine atom when it reacts with copper. So fluorine has 7 electrons in its outer shell, so it's gonna gain 1 electron from copper to have a full outer shell, so it will be like a noble gas. That would be worth 2 marks. Describe a chemical test which would show that a solution contains copper 2 ions. Now, a chemical test would be reacting with sodium hydroxide, because we're testing for copper, so it's one of the tests that you come on to later in the chemistry unit. So we're testing for copper ions, so you would use sodium hydroxide, and you would mix the copper ions in it, and you will see a positive result. A blue precipitate will form. For a positive result. Okay, and that would be worth 2 marks. And that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and one last thing, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell.